So, um, how old is a dog typically when you get him?
Dogs are roughly 2 years old. So, like we said, about birth, and then the first 18 months or so are spent with a puppy raiser, come back and do another 4 or 5 months of training. That usually puts a dog somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 years old. Now, sometimes, like if you say you have a person who might be a little older or not very sure on their feet, a little more fragile in their movements, that person might get a dog that's, say, 3 years old, that has either had some extra training or something to make sure that the dog is going to be an appropriate match with the person.
Just strength-wise.
Strength,
Okay.
walking speed, etc.
And do all dogs that go through this training and are born at the Seeing Eye, raised by a puppy raiser, go back and start training, are they all accepted and become Seeing Eye dogs?
No. In fact, I'd have to check the actual stats, but it's only like maybe 60 or 70%, I believe, of dogs that make it, that actually complete the training. And there's a variety of reasons for this. Maybe the dog's personality is just that they're just wired differently, right? They're a little more skittish. Or if a dog shows any kind of sign of aggression, immediately kicked out of the program, right? You cannot have a service dog that has any signs of aggression. And then you also have dogs that maybe they do really, really good walking around a typical neighborhood. But if you get them into a major urban environment that has, let's say, sirens or jackhammers or subways or things that are really loud, the dog might freak out a little bit. Well, then you can't put that dog into service. And so that's where those dogs often get adopted out, or they're kept as breeders for future dogs. So the dogs don't just like get cut and they go away.
I was going to say, you said kicked out, but that doesn't mean like to a shelter.
No, nothing like that. But they would not then go through the training program.
Right. And sometimes they're well equipped for a different type job. And they do that. And I do know the puppy raisers, if I understand right, often can get them back.
Yes, I believe that is an option.
Which, man. So it's win-win either way. The dog match is really good. And
how are you feeling about having a new dog in the house?
Well, from what we usually get a lab. And I say we like it's half mine.
Right.
Because, in my heart it is.
He lives in your house too.
But I do know they say labs typically don't outgrow the puppy stage till they're 3 or so. So I do know that the first year they can still be, they'll get a hold of something and chew it. Or because when they're out of harness, they behave like any other dog.
Maybe better behaved than most dogs because they're taught not to get on furniture and
absolutely
such like that. But they're still dogs. They're still
they're going to get in the garbage if they get a chance.
Right. Dog will stick his head in the garbage. Dog will chew on the leg of a puppy. Will chew on the leg of a couch or eat a pair of underwear or something gross and awful like that. But yeah, dogs are dogs. You can't take the dog out of a dog.
Right. So we will have a year or so of helping it continue to grow through that puppy mischievousness. But I'm so excited. And I think part of the reason I can be so excited is knowing that Elliot is in such a fabulous home and that he's living he is spoiled rotten.
Oh my God. It's like the Ritz-Carlton for that dog.
Oh my gosh. Knowing that he is like, man, gold watch, everything, the perfect retirement for him. He's the equivalent of a gold watch. So knowing he's so happy, it kind of opens my heart easier to accept someone new. But I'm excited to see the different personality that this one will bring. They always earn a nickname. We've had Ninja. We've had,
Pretty Boy.
Crazy Head. Yeah. We've had Pretty Boy. So just seeing what this one's like. They all like different games. I thought all labs liked fetch.
Yep. Last two haven't.
No.
Both Garrett and Elliot did not want anything to do with fetching. Nothing. They're like the anti-retriever Labrador retriever.
Right. And one of them was like afraid of water.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas we had one that would, if you got him near water and he was loose, he was going to
He'd
be
jump
in the
in it.
pool, you know.
And then
So
another one that didn't want to walk on grass if there was dew on the grass.
so they're just, you know, getting to know what this one's like. I do know from just getting to be here that the first few months of you and the dog working together, you don't just walk off the plane and bam, you're the perfect team.
No. And they usually say it takes 6 to 12 months to really even start to feel like a good working team. I remember with my first dog, they said, you know, it'll take you 6 to 12 months. And it was about 6 or 7 months after I first got Dasher that I was walking across campus at Missouri State. And I realized that I wasn't having to think as much, that we were on a path that we had been on many times. The dog knew the path. I was figuring out the dog's body and his movements, and I could judge all that. And I just remember thinking, wow, it was so easy to get back home from class today. That's the moment. That's the moment when you feel like, okay, now we're a well-oiled machine and we work together. Doesn't mean that mistakes won't still happen.
Sure.
But after a while you feel like you kind of get in sync with the dog, where the dog knows the person knows the dog. And, hopefully then you can, you know, navigate even better.
And we always have, because of your specific lifestyle, there's always this, you know, in the beginning, are they going to be good flyers?
Mm-hmm.
Because what happens when you get on an airplane?
Right. Dog lays down at my feet and we got to curls up and, you know, the dog's going to have to be a good flyer. He's going to have to be good with people because he'll be on stage in front of, you know, literally tens of thousands of people over his lifetime. Dog's got to be cool with kids. We got grandkids. They're kind of loud and rambunctious. Dog's going to have to be cool with that.
Yep. And so, kids in public always want
kids in public. Well, not just kids in public. You get plenty of adults in public that want to come up and pet the dog too.
Well, and usually it's the kids saying, "No, that's a service dog, Mom. We can't touch him." But you know, sometimes they will ask if he's out of harness, and when they're a little older, sometimes you let a kid, especially if the mom says, "My kid's afraid," you say, "Well, if you want to try petting him, it's okay. He won't." You know,
if he's laying down and taking a rest off. Yeah.
Right. Which is always so sweet to me because some people have reasons to be very afraid. So giving them that introduction that, you know, hey, some dogs are nice is always special. Okay. So you bring him home and then what do you do immediately? This was horrifying to me at first, in the sense that it interfered with my fun.
Oh, yeah. So whenever I get home, it's not just going to be like the dog comes in the house, I let him off of his harness and leash, and he goes and plays with Marveline. It's not going to be that. In fact, for at least the first probably 6 weeks, I do not let anybody interact with my new dog. Or
Which
if it is,
so hard.
I know. I'll keep that dog leashed at my side 24/7 for the first, you know, like I said, probably at least 6 weeks. And in that time, that dog and I are constantly bonding. By being close to one another, I'm able to start to see the ways that he's going to try to push the limits. And I keep saying he just because all of my other dogs have been he, but I could get a female. That's certainly possible. Yeah. So that first 6 weeks is hard because everybody wants to meet the new puppy and he's so cute and he's young and he's got a harness. And I'm sorry. No, he's still got to be bonded to me for that first 6 weeks.
We all have to kind of just ignore that he's even in the room because his strongest bond has to be you. And we've had, you know, I remember one dog specifically was really just more naturally comfortable with women. And then that one took a little longer of just you because, you know, that strong bond has to be there.
And we figured that his puppy raiser had primarily been female. Right. And so, yeah, that was one of the reasons. So we had to work through that.
Yep. And it is hard because we can't touch them when someone comes to the door to visit. We're like, okay, you have to just ignore the dog. Sorry. Take a picture in quiet. But, you know, no petting, touching. But that's, it's all very exciting, but it is daunting in the sense that, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And I'm a little trepidatious because at the Seeing Eye, every day starts at 5:30. Getting up,
Bless
taking the
your
dog.
heart.
I know. Getting up,
Mine
taking the
won't.
dog out for a potty break at before dawn, especially when it's maybe still February in Jersey. I'm not especially looking forward to the cold, but it's a dog and he's awesome and he's going to be such a good pup. And I'm excited.
Good. We are. I am too. Our whole family is.
Yeah.
And it's a new adventure.
It's a new adventure.
It's a new adventure.
Well, thank you all for joining us on this adventure that we call Compassion and Courage, Conversations in Healthcare. This is the podcast where we teach compassionate communication, provide perspective, and inspire resilience. Thank you to everyone who continues to rate and review and subscribe and share, doing all those social media interaction things. So thank you all so much, and we'll see you on the next episode of Compassion and Courage, Conversations in Healthcare.